It's finally named the Book of Everywhere. Let me also direct your attention down here. You should maybe do that. Do both maybe, if you can. That'd be cool. That would help. I'm kind of on the road to 100,000 subs now, so any amount of support is greatly appreciated at this point here. Anyway, though, welcome back to some more of my survival world. It's episode number 16. I hope everyone's having a great day. Last time was a good one, man. I can do this now. I can do this now. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, though, more importantly, I have access to these 6 beautiful shulker boxes. It's gonna bring a tear to my eye. Man, it's gonna be so nice to have those. That's gonna help a lot today, because today I'm probably gonna have to go gather a decent amount of materials. Let me kind of talk about my plans for today, and then we can get into the YouTube members. So I want to make an observatory of some kind, because I want to put my map room in there. I've never had a map room. I've never made one of those huge maps, and I feel like this is a good world to make my first map on. And I think making it into an observatory would be really cool. I think it would make sense. And I think this spot up here would be a good place to put this build for today. Only annoying thing is that getting rid of all this powdered snow is going to be such a pain. Oh, I'm just thinking about that now. How badly do I want to put it up here? Pretty badly, honestly. I just think that that's like a perfect little like perch for it, you know? I can just imagine the thumbnail right here. Always thinking about the thumbnail. That's what you do when you make these videos. But yeah, I think this is a really good spot for it. I was potentially considering up here as well, but it's just a little bit tight back there with like, you know, having to go so vertical. The pathway would have to be a little bit funky. I mean, I guess I can kind of wind it back this way, but I don't know how well that'll blend into the area. I'm just kind of feeling over here is the better spot. And I think for this build, I'm going to need to get a bunch of random materials because I'm not going to be using much of the same stuff that we have been using all over the place. So I'm going to have to venture out and actually go grab some new blocks. Not necessarily new, but blocks I don't really use that often. And these shulker boxes are going to be very, very handy for doing all that. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Should be a good episode. I'm hoping to make a pretty cool build. I do have an inspiration picture that I'm kind of looking at, but I'll get to that more when we actually start building the thing. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for this one. Hopefully this turns out well. I'm just excited to have a whole map of the area. I think it's gonna look really nice. Now though, like always, let me introduce you all to the new YouTube members for this episode. All right, first things first, I'm gonna switch out Fire Gator 50's block to a piece of crying obsidian. That's what they wanted. And now I can introduce the 3 new members for this episode. We got Jokey, we have Louie Boy, and we have Aaron M8086. So everyone say welcome. Welcome to the Shramley. Hope you guys enjoy your stay. But I have to start expanding further down that way, I think, at some point. I'm going to line all these pillars with item frames as well to save a little bit of space, but yeah, we're probably going to have to move. That's all right, though. I'm not even kind of complaining. Also, speaking of the YouTube members, I want to see something. How many times have I broken an anvil? I'm beginning to think that it doesn't track anvil uses when you're renaming blocks because it only says I've used an anvil 20 times. I'm assuming that's only the number of times I've used an anvil to like combine weapons or tools or books or whatever. Oh well, I was hoping I could check because I feel like I've gone through probably like 25 plus anvils at this point. Like I mentioned earlier, the color palette for this building is going to be different than most of what's around here. And I think this can be a good moment to kind of show how I go about choosing the color of like the walls and stuff for my builds. So I usually just pick like a base color or like a base block, for example, and I kind of go from there. I want this to be smooth sandstone, honestly, but let's just use regular sandstone for now. So I want to use smooth sandstone. So that kind of looks like the top of this all the way around, you know? So I want this to be the main color. Let me make all this into sandstone. Yeah, that's fine. So I want this to be the main color, right? Once I choose the main color, then I like to figure out a gradient getting darker and a gradient getting lighter from the main color that I'm choosing. So for example, with this block palette here, I could use a gradient like that to go a little bit darker, right? Actually, it gets pretty dark here with the spruce. But the birch wood and the oak wood look really, really nice with sandstone, and it looks even better if it's smooth sandstone. If I was a better YouTuber, I would have got the correct block, but I don't want to run all the way back up there, dude. Look how far that is. I'm not doing that. So we have this gradient now going all the way down the spruce wood. I could also even switch this out. If I don't want to get that dark, I could do this instead, which I kind of like more, I think. I feel like the spruce wood might be a little bit too jarring. I'll mess with it on the actual build. Maybe at a bigger scale, it'll be fine. But I'll figure out a darker gradient, just like that. And then I'll also figure out a lighter gradient, and I'll put this one up at the top. Now, the lighter gradient here, I'm not super happy about. I think it looks fine. Again, maybe if I extrapolate this into a bigger build, it'll look a lot better. But I think there's something there, you know? That might need some tuning. But in general, right, I'll pick a lighter gradient and a darker gradient, and then I decide if I want to incorporate both of these into the walls or just one. And I think I'm going to make the decision now for this build. I'm going to incorporate both of these gradients. I don't normally do that, honestly. That's usually the one I choose the least often. As you can kind of see in my area, usually it's just like a shade darker or a shade lighter in some aspects, but I kind of want to challenge myself with this build. And I want to have a highlight and also a shadow. Now, normally when I go over my block palettes, I talk about the roof at the same time, but I have no idea what I'm going to use for the roof for this build. I can't even lie. I don't know. I have a couple options in my head. I was thinking copper. I think just making like a copper gradient would be pretty cool. I think like deep slate or like black stone could also look really nice. Or even just like a simple spruce wood. Honestly, I have no idea what kind of roof I'm going to make for this. But it's going to be something. I can guarantee there's going to be a roof on it. This is going to be a very annoying amount of snow to clear out. Well, the powdered snow will be. Because if you didn't know, you can't insta-mine this or anything. I could use a water bucket. That gets rid of it pretty quick. That's probably going to be the best course of action for me. But I don't really feel like clearing this out right now. So instead, I'm gonna go gather some materials. This is a thing now? What? Is this in the new update? There's like sandstorms? This is actually awesome. How have I not heard of this before? This is really cool. I like the occasional dead bush that just flies away. Back to the material grind. I just wanted to pop in to mention this new sandstorm. This is cool. I like the vibes. I now have a whole bunch of materials. Got a bunch of random stuff in these chests. Some of these blocks I haven't talked about. Like I didn't mention them when I was going over the color palette, but it's fine. I'll get to them, all right? And I also cleared out an area for this build. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned with this spot because like, it's gonna snow here and it'll cover the ground in snow. I don't know if that's gonna be a problem. I feel like it'll probably still look all right. So I'm probably good just to kind of roll with it. And I think, what are you doing here, man? Are you guys here for your lost comrade over there? You can't see him, but of course I'm talking about Villager. I'm sorry that I kidnapped your friend, all right? But he tried to kill me. He tried to take over my land, and it wasn't cool, all right, man? Kind of did exactly what you're doing right now. I'm sorry to have to do this. I'm actually not sorry at all. That's what you guys deserve. Man, look at that. Shot me perfectly in the head. Right in the forehead. Also exactly where my helmet was not protecting me from. Honestly, that's some pretty good aim. Not gonna lie. So I'm a little bit worried here about the snow, but I think I'm just gonna kind of rock with it and then see what we get. I feel like it probably won't look bad. So that's good at least. I'm also now realizing I never got a roof block, but I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. To begin though, I want to take some of this tuff and make a little foundation. This is also probably a good time to kind of plop the reference image on the screen. I'll put a link in the description to where I got this image from. I kind of just looked up like medieval observatory on Google and then I think it took me to like a Pinterest or like Tumblr page or something like that. I don't know, but I'll put a link down below somewhere. I just really like this bottom right one. Specifically, I like the color palette used like in the walls. Like I like the darker patches and stuff. That's kind of where I got the idea to use like the spruce or the mushroom stem I think we're using, or the mushroom block, sorry, to get those like dark brown patches. So that's mainly what I'm taking inspiration from here. Not as much the shape. I mean, I'm still going to make my build round. I don't know if I'm going to have that upper balcony on it, but I guess we'll figure that out too, kind of as we're building. And one difference I'm going to make is I'm going to attach a house to this. So it's not just going to be like the cylindrical building. There's going to be like a nice like fantasy style house attached to it, probably in like a similar style to what I've been building in this whole area. I'm thinking we probably have the observatory over here. And then the rest of the house can just extend this way. I feel like that makes the most sense. And, you know, once we build it up enough, we'll be nice and above this little mountain. So it should make sense as an observatory to really, like, look at the stars and stuff. So I feel like it'll work, like, size-wise. Let me just try to get a nice, like, circular shape that I'm comfortable with. All right, what does this look like here? Wow, dude, that's a circle. Look at me go. I didn't even look anything up for that. That feels like a nice circle to me. Okay, and that's probably a pretty good size. I think it's going to get a little bit smaller as we go up, so I think that's a good base size here. I'm just a little worried that I don't have enough room for like a nice house on this side, but maybe I do. I can probably figure something out. I feel like something like that would probably even be okay. You can even extend that out a couple more blocks. All right, I think that's probably good enough. The main, like, attraction here is going to be the observatory, like, tower anyway. And because of that, I think I'm going to work on this left side here first. I'll worry about the little attached house later. For right now, I just have a bunch of tuff thrown down. I'll come back through and texture this at some point, probably once I'm happy with the shape. But I think this is a good start here for the foundation. I have some upside down stairs on top of that layer of tuff that I threw down. Some spots I wasn't really able to put stairs, like I can't do it here. I guess I could. I would just need to put a block like there. Which doesn't look too bad, honestly. I think I'll probably do that all the way around. So, now that we have this in place, let me start building up with some of this smooth sandstone that I collected. And much like most things that I build, I'm not going to texture as I go here. I'm just going to use only the smooth sandstone for now. And then once I'm happy with the shape, I'll come back through and texture with all the different blocks that I gathered too. I'm a little concerned with how I'm going to shape this out. I'm not great at making like diagonal or circular buildings. Like if it's not a rectangle or a square, I kind of don't want it. But hey man, this is your sign. Build out of your comfort zone. Coming from the guy who literally only builds in a medieval style because he's scared to do anything else. Okay, I think I'm comfortable with that being like the first section. I'm only gonna have one more section here, but it's gonna be a little bit skinnier. And am I completely out of smooth sandstone after that? I don't have my elytra on. That's cool, just broke my ankles. I am completely out of smooth sandstone after this, so I don't think I'm gonna have enough. Maybe when I texture this, I can get enough back to fill it all out. I don't know. Well, let's grab up some temporary blocks and let's bump this whole build in one block. I'm also kind of nervous to do the roof. I think I'm gonna probably have to do some kind of like big domed roof, and there's no way I'm gonna make that look good. This is another kind of struggle I have in this game. Like, okay, so earlier in this episode, I might have sounded like pretty excited and optimistic and stuff to build this, and that was the case at the time. I always have these really cool ideas in my head to make awesome stuff. And then almost every time I realize, ooh, I might not be good enough to do that. So I usually just kind of compromise and build something I'm used to. I feel like this happens all the time. This is one of those times right now. But the problem with this build is it's a shape I'm not used to. So I kind of can't just like resort back to something I'm comfortable with. Because this is inherently uncomfortable, you know? I'm also out of the smooth sandstone block. That's great. Love that for me. And I still need to go up a good bit, probably. Let's see how much sandstone I can just craft. I don't really think I have that much sand. But maybe it'll be enough. That's not going to be enough, man. That's like a stack and a quarter. It's alright though. We'll persevere, don't worry. You know what has always pissed me off about my super smelter that I made? There's 8 furnaces here. And my lava farm has 9 cauldrons. That has always bothered me, but I'm too stubborn to take a cauldron out. I could probably just make a better super smelter, but I don't want to do all that. Alright, I got my measly stack and 14 more smooth sandstone. Let's go throw all that down and then I'll pop back in with some of the texturing blocks. You guys proud of me though? I actually brought scaffolding. The first time. I didn't have to go back and get it. That deserves a like, I think. I think that alone deserves a like on the video. And this is all of the new sandstone I just got, but I think we're getting pretty close with the height of this thing. I gotta remember that there's also gonna be like a domed roof up there. So I don't want to make it too tall. Honestly, that could be good if I just finish off this little chunk here. So I think I'm gonna have enough once I take some of this away to make it look better. And I think I can start working on that now. I do want to figure out like a little trim area for this. I feel like just using spruce wood makes the most sense. Like I know I'm so spruce heavy in this area, but it's just such a good wood type. And it complements this color palette so well, I think. I just feel like I can't not use it, you know? So I'm thinking, right? I put stairs in this little junction and then have some kind of like overhanging bit. I could get away with putting stairs here as well. This block just gets kind of weird. I guess I'll do a slab. Slab never hurt anyone. Except for that one time. You know, I should probably just work on the front face of this before I put it everywhere. Because if I end up not liking my design, I'm just gonna have to walk around the whole thing and destroy it all. But I'm already done. I already completed the ring. So, oh, okay. I think I thought of a better design. I think this looks a lot cooler. There's like just height difference kind of going all the way across. And I just think it's more appealing. So, I'm gonna rock with that. You are back again? Man, you guys gotta be really pissed that I captured one of your friends. It's gonna let you keep doing your own thing. But if you come closer, you're, you know, not going to be breathing anymore, so think carefully here, fellas. All right, now the next step here with this is I want to overhang this trim just a little bit. I think it'll probably only overhang like a block or so. Think I could be cooking with something here, or I could very well just not be at all. Let me do this for only, let's do this for only half. That looks pretty cool. I could probably throw some like fence gates under here as well to make it look a little bit more supported. But I think as for an overhang goes, that's pretty decent. All right, we're committing. Doing that the whole way around. It's kind of like negligible from back here almost. Like it's pretty thin, but I think with more spruce details, it'll kind of stick out. All right, so the whole point of that was because now underneath here, where all this smooth sandstone is, I want to switch out a lot of this to work in some of those darker patches that we were talking about. So let me carve away just like a nice big chunk up here, and let's start throwing on this gradient. Okay, so from the sandstone, gonna start first with the birch planks. Everything touching those birch planks will be a stripped birch log. I'm hoping I have enough blocks for this. I think I will. Everything touching the stripped birch logs will be a stripped oak log, and then everything touching those oak logs will be piece of brown mushroom block. And let's peel back a little bit and see how that looks. It's pretty good. I think that's decent. I think there's too much brown mushroom though. And there's a pretty easy fix for that. Just gonna destroy some of it and replace it with the stripped oak logs. Is that any better? Okay, it's definitely better. Part of me does want to end the gradient though at the oak logs instead of going all the way to the brown mushroom block. It's just not looking right to me. Though, from back here, it looks pretty good, honestly. I think I'm going to roll with it for now. I can always come back through and fix this pretty easily. But this is the basic idea here. Kind of going all the way around this thing. So now that I'm a little bit more comfortable here with that gradient, let me shift focus again to putting down just some smooth sandstone. Hopefully I have enough now to finish off the top of the build there. Because then I can move on to one of the other techniques we're going to use in this whole build. And kind of explain my thought process behind that. Alright, so I was able to fill out that chunk, and I think this is probably a good height. Because like I said before, there's going to be a nice like domed roof up there that's going to add some more height. So we should honestly be good at this point. Now though, I do want to show off another kind of blending technique that I thought about after I already went over the block palette. So you might have noticed, but I have a bunch of bamboo logs in this chest as well. And I kind of want to show off why I'm going to be using those. And I hope this looks good. I haven't tried it out yet, but I think it could look pretty cool. So down here, right at this tough level, as you could probably all guess, I'm going to be working in some moss, right? To blend this now into the sandstone, right? I was thinking about how I could do this, and I'm going to be using some bamboo blocks to accomplish this. My thought process is that everything that's touching the moss, I'm going to put some bamboo wood, right? This might be a little bit difficult to do on a diagonal here, but it's fine. I'll make something work, right? With this bamboo wood, if I orient it like this, I can transition that into the stripped version pretty easily, right? Like those kind of go together really, really nicely. Let's go up a little bit more. From there, I can go into the regular bamboo and then into the birch, and then the birch will just naturally lead into the sandstone. This might be too much. I'm concerned this might be just too many blocks, but let me try it out on this small section here and see what I can come up with. All right, let's take a look. Is this just like the worst thing I've ever done, or is this cool? Taking a step back. I think there's something there. I think there's definitely something there. Like, I think it looks really good right here, going all the way up, but it does look a little bit funny on the side here, right? Because I can't get like this top texture all the way around. You know what I mean? I kind of want to continue with it, man. I don't know. I don't know. Is this weird? This might be weird. It's hard to tell. I think I'll only really know once I kind of do it everywhere, and then maybe I'll take like a night to think about it. That's also a pretty good like building tip. I don't know if I've really said this yet, but if you're unsure about something, rather than just taking it down right away, unless it's like really bad, but rather than just taking it down right away, kind of just leave it there and just see how you feel about it in the next like day or two. Because if you come back and kind of vibe with it, it might not be as bad as you think. I think what'll also help is if I compare this to the alternative. The alternative here is going to be out of white blocks just to get a little bit lighter. If I use this like moss design, I'm not going to be using the white blocks as well. That'll just be way too many blocks in my opinion. So let me do a patch of the white blocks back here on this corner, and let's see which one I like more. All right, so I threw down a small patch of the white blocks, and I don't know how I feel about it. I honestly think I might like the green a little bit better. Even though there's a lot more going on and it might look a little bit messy, I think I'm gonna stick with this moss design in a couple spots. I'm not gonna do this everywhere. I'll probably only do it like one other spot, but I think I'm going to commit to that, and let's see if I regret this. The other moss section I'm gonna try to take advantage of this flat wall a little bit more, so it's not as much on a diagonal. And I'm gonna put it like right here. All right, so I got another one of those moss sections on the back side of the building, and I think it looks okay. Still like a tad bit weird, but I'm kind of embracing the weirdness. I definitely do still have a bunch more texturing I'm gonna have to do all the way around here. Just specifically making, you know, a couple of these spots darker, like we did in the front here. But I do want to move on to the roof now. I should probably figure that out before I do anything else. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of stress about it. All right, so I'm doing some testing here on the ground level. It's way easier to do this than to keep losing all my blocks. I think if I do a shape like this, it'll kind of work. There's an 11 block diameter between these two. Let's see if there's 11 blocks here on the top. It is perfectly 11 blocks. Okay, so I should be able to kind of replicate that design down there and get it to work here. So that is this shape. And I feel like that looks all right. You can't really see it too well from down here, so maybe I should make it a little bit taller, but that's a good start. We at least got a shape that doesn't look terrible. Ready for me to sleep in this bed? Here, watch this. Didn't even hurt. All right, so then alternatively, I could also do this instead, which I think I might lean towards. This is just a little bit taller. I feel like this could be a little bit better. I think that's a bit more proportioned. All right, I'm gonna rock with that all the way around. Now I just have to kind of figure out how to fill in the insides to make it look good. And honestly, I think I might use deep slate. I was kind of going back and forth if I wanted to use spruce or deep slate for the roof. So I think actually a spruce trim with a deep slate interior would look the best. I also kind of want to work in some walls here. I think that'll better shape out, you know, these curves. So like maybe the top of all of these, I can take the block away and put in like a wall or two, like a mud brick wall. I think that could actually look pretty decent. Let me mess around here with this roof for a little bit, and then I'll be right back once I have it filled in and, you know, once I'm at a shape that I am more comfortable with. Of course, right when I come back, it starts raining. Gotta love that. I finished up the roof, though, and I also kind of finished up the texturing going around the entire thing. There still might be a little bit more that I add, but I got a lot of it done, at least. I'm a pretty big fan of the roof shape. I think it looks pretty solid. It's like a nice big dome. And also, I could put like a lens sticking out to actually be looking up at stuff and kind of look more like an observatory, but I'm a little worried I'm not going to be able to accomplish that. So let's just imagine that it's like closed right now. Maybe this isn't an observatory after all then, but I don't know. I'm going to just keep referring to it as one. But I really do like how the texturing has turned out so far. I think this thing's actually, you know, looking pretty good right now. Next up, though, I want to continue working just on the outside of the build here, and I want to come up with a couple different, like, window designs and just other pieces of decoration, kind of going all the way across. The windows for this building, I think I want them looking kind of like this. I just kind of have to iron out the design in general, but I think this is a pretty good start. And then I'm going to have, like, glass or some other block here on the inside. That way there's a lot of depth here with the windows, and I even want to, like, accentuate that even more. Because I do want to put like an overhang. Let me just get a little bit more scaffolding. I do want to put like an overhang on the outside of this. I'm worried the stairs are going to be a little bit too blocky, but let's see. If we kind of just do something like this, and then maybe, should I put a stair in the middle? Stair could work there in the middle. And then even just like something like that would look kind of cool on the outside, I think. Is this going to be too much? Let's see. I don't think that's too much. I think that actually looks pretty cool. I think I need to change this block out though for some spruce. But that's all right. And then I can hang 2 lanterns off to the side like that too, to add even more detail. I do also want to go through and put a bunch of fence gates like lining this like first section up here. Like I put one right here and one right here. I think that looks really nice. I'm considering also like extending some fences down. Oh, that won't connect though. Maybe I can't do that. Never mind. There's a lot of like small details with this build that I'm probably gonna miss something. But I do want to throw another one of those windows up here. I don't know if it's gonna be the same size. Might be a little smaller, but it'll pretty much be the same idea. All right, yeah, and then that's what the front of the building is going to look like pretty much. Again, I still have to figure out the actual window block back there. There's a really good chance I just default to glass. I'm not like brave enough to use another block. Like the first person that comes to mind, I mean, I've talked about him before, but Mr. Matt Ranger, he like hardly uses glass for windows, like ever. I've seen him use like looms. I've seen him use, shroom lights and all these different interesting blocks, and they all work. So I don't know if I'm brave enough to kind of tackle that now. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But this is turning out pretty well, I think. I'm just going to do this same exact thing here with these 2 windows. I'm going to do that on this side here, even though this bottom window is not going to really look out too much. But it's fine. There's still room for it. And I'll also do it on the back. This side over here, I think I'll probably just add the top window, because I'm still unsure if I'm going to have a building attached to this on the side, so I don't want to put this lower one just yet. But this thing is really taking shape, dude. I'm proud of this right now. I was a little worried when I started building this. I didn't think I was going to be able to get the kind of image that I had in my head, but I think I'm getting there. I definitely think I'm getting there. Cool. All right, let me put the rest of these windows on, and I'll be right back. This, like, observatory thing, whatever we're calling it now, it has windows around the entire thing. Next up, I do want to start trying to work on a building over here, an extension. And I think I want to make this mainly out of, like, tuff and like stones and stuff like that. So we're just going to kind of use the same blocks as the base here. I think that'll look pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have too much tuff on me. I might actually have to go gather some. For starters though, like everything else, let me just kind of like outline this building. Let's see how big I want to make it. I don't really think it's going to be too large. I'm imagining this is just going to be where like a cartographer villager could live or something, you know? Now, in order to save as much tuff as I possibly can, I'm gonna use a decent amount of moss here, and a decent amount of mossy cobble as well. Also, considering I have this, like, mossy section over here, I feel like it makes sense to kind of extend it that way. I think it'll make these 2 sections blend in a little bit better. And I do also want to break in some of this tough brick as well. And then I also have some basalt and deep slate that I'm gonna work in as some darker patches. I do also have some just regular stone as well, so I could kind of just throw this in the front here. Just has a little bit of texture variety, just to save on some tuff. And maybe like a small section over here on the back. I mean, that kind of worked. I'm completely out of tuff now. But we kind of have a box. I am going to have to go gather a little bit more, though, unfortunately. But I think that looks pretty good for the colors here. All right, let me head down to the mines really, really fast. Which also reminds me, I don't think I actually pointed this out last episode, but between last episode and the one before that, I actually did a little bit of work around the area. I don't know why I didn't point this out. I think I was just so focused on beating the Ender Dragon. But that little bit of work was detailing the mine here on the inside. So now it looks a little bit better than it did before. There still is no minecart rail system. I kind of still want to set that up. I figured I could probably have it just go down from here. But at least now, like, when you're looking into the mines, it looks a lot better. It looks more like an actual, like, kind of mine shaft. I do need to replace these torches still, though. Dude, I'm so lazy when it comes to some things. And also we have like just a small amount of storage down here. There's nothing actually in here, but I'm imagining like the people who are mining down there can come up, drop some stuff off, go back down. I don't know. It's nice to add a little bit of like reason to your world, you know? All right, I feel like this is probably an appropriate height here for the little house that's going to be attached. I think I'm going to use the same like roof kind of palette. So we're going to use the deep slate for the interior of the roof, and then we'll have some kind of spruce trim. Really not sure what kind of roof I'm going to have. I don't think I'm going to have one of these like swoopy ones that I've kind of been doing everywhere, like one of these. I think just like a typical like stair roof or something could be good. Yeah, let's see, is that going to be too small? Honestly, I don't think so. I feel like that works out pretty well. It's going to be pretty basic, but it's fine. Decided to make the roof a little bit interesting here on the top. I think that looks pretty cool. The only part of this that's kind of annoying me is this left side, like right here, with this wall. but there's not really too much I could do about it. It just looks a little asymmetrical from like this point of view. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna worry about it all that much. Let me fill in the other side of the roof here with our deep slate blocks. Gonna go ahead and throw a door on this building. I think I'll do one over here. Today is one of those rough recording days that I always talk about, where I feel like it takes me forever to get my words out. Because I've been trying to commentate myself making this door design for like 10 minutes. And I just can't get the words out. This is the door design that I came up with. Let me kind of talk about it here a little bit. We got some bamboo doors. I never really used these. I don't think I honestly ever have. So this is cool. A new door. It's not spruce again. Look at me go, man. I'm making moves. Also, I have a double door. I also never do that. So that's a little bit different. But I think it fits this build pretty well. And I really like the pop of bamboo. I'm going to put some scaffolding windows into this build as well. And I feel like the bamboo door is going to help that a lot. It'll help like mesh it together, you know? Because I'm probably going to have a window like right here. And that looks really nice together, in my opinion. And then the rest of the window decoration is just super basic. I just have these like oak trapdoors hanging off, spruce trapdoors above. I think it looks pretty good. I do want to put something underneath these stairs. I just have to figure out the exact blocks I want to use. I definitely want to use some fence gates, but I don't really know how I want to orient them. I think they look pretty cool like that. Kind of like holding the whole thing up. I think putting the fence gates like this makes the most sense. I just have one block in between, and it does actually work out pretty well. Then I can put a lantern on either side. I think that's a pretty cool design here. So I think that's pretty much going to be the design here for this right side. I don't know if I'm going to do anything to this wall. Honestly, I might just keep it blank. Maybe I'll put some like leaves here or something. But I think it's fine the way it is. I'm not going to really be looking at this build from this direction, I feel like, all that much. So I'm not entirely worried about that side being a little bit boring. But the whole build itself is looking pretty cool. So then next up, I should definitely tackle the interior. But that scares me, man. I don't like doing interiors. I don't know how I'm going to do this. We'll figure something out. And after much thought and consideration about what I was going to do for the interior, I decided to just outsource the interior to someone else. And that someone else is my friend, Etat. So let's go get him.
You see this?
Huh? Huh? Oh, what? How you waving? Is that part of Essentials? What are you doing?
Yeah, look at this.
What?
Woo.
Wow, dude.
Ready?
You're wiggling. Oh, okay. All right, man. That might be the best thing I've ever seen.
Take me home.
Might be the best thing I've ever seen. All right, follow me. There you go.
Horsey Dad.
That's you, man. That's your horse.
That is genius. If I was Shram, where would I keep my paper at? Where's my sugar cane?
It's a good question. What's a good question, man? What do you think it is? I'm just gonna let you keep searching.
Is it in a different building?
Nope, it's back here. No, it's back here.
I got some.
You just run the sugar cane over there.
Yeah, wait, you know what we could do? Which could be kind of fun? Is add a little bit of variation in here. So we'll have like, this is where your doors are, right? So you come in, and then you'll also have, I don't know if we want to use stairs or slabs, but, or maybe a mixture of both. But the first floor can kind of start up here.
I think this is a good idea, because it is pretty cool to come in and you have stairs directly to your left rather than it just being the same level. I think I do like that.
So we also want to go to the second floor, right?
Probably. So I have to figure out a way to get up there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty anti-ladder, you know?
I agree. I think we should figure out that first, and then we'll be able to like plan our map down here, and then whatever we want to decorate upstairs. You know what would be cool is upstairs, instead of doing a full floor, basically making it to where it's like a hole and have like railing sort of thing, so that you can't like fall over into the edge. That way it would make this area feel like really nice and big, you know? It's a little squiggly right there, but
it's fine. It can even out. There's nothing wrong with a good squiggle.
I think I messed up. We'll have to get the stairs looking a little bit better. I did some weird stuff here. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Hold on. Okay, hold on. My brain is having trouble here. So if this, what I need to do is I need to, ouch, take that and rotate it 90 degrees, right? 2, up 1, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it just goes all the way across to the next. Is that right? Wait, where was I? Wait, 1, 2. Where was I? I'm lost. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you under any more pressure than you normally
Yes,
are?
yes. I was so nervous. I'm trying to find like the best orientations for this so that it doesn't look weird. And I just see a guy staring at me on a
Sorry,
piece of
man.
dirt.
I don't know what you want me to do. And it has that weird pop of color. But you know, I've seen this. People use like weird blocks like this all the time, and it always looks good. I'm just never. I'm always too scared.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
But
too.
this is not my
used to
world,
it.
so
You can do whatever you want. I'll deal with the consequences. I'll come on your world and just build the most ugly thing you've ever seen. But then you can't take it down because I built it. You know.
you're never coming on my world just because of that. No, you're never.
Don't worry, man. If you ever need help building anything, I'm your guy, and I definitely won't mess it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do like. Let's see. Do you have any more chains?
Dude, your character just blinked, and I don't like it.
You don't like that?
Dude, it scares me, man. No, I don't have any more chains. I have to go grab some. But dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't use fresh animations. It kind of scares me.
Dude, I love fresh animations.
I feel it's not right. Like, I feel like when I see a villager and it blinks at me, I feel bad when I like exploit it until it sticks. You know what I mean? Have you ever gotten any comments or anything of people like accusing you of cheating?
Yeah. People accuse me on my old hardcore world for building a log cabin out of oak wood. And some guy said, "How did you get that much oak wood?" I chopped the whole forest down.
How did you get that much oak wood?
It's not hard. It's not a hard block to get.
It's like, man, what is that? 5 stacks of oak wood? How? That's not possible. Can you give me 1 second? I'll be right back. This is what we're gonna do. You can take over this section of the video, okay? I'll be right back. You talk to the viewers.
Here, stand right here.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I'll be right here. You can say whatever you want to say, and then do what you gotta do. But yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, chat. Hello. My name is Etat Dab. So today we're gonna be placing down some. Wait, you can't place item frames. Okay, cut that part out the video. Hold on. Let me. You just cut that part out, and I'm gonna put some. Actually, wait. Hold on. My name's Ita. Okay, today we're gonna be placing a map down on here, and now we gotta build the puzzle. Here we go. That is not where that goes. Great. All right, that's that for sure, right? Center? No. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're making progress, guys. We're making progress.
Okay, I'm back now. Were you entertaining?
Oh, not at all. That was so much harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Look at that. Wow.
There we go. There we go. I was thinking, actually, see, we don't have lanterns because somebody doesn't have iron. But okay, we don't need a light source there.
What are you trying to say, man?
Well, I was like, what are you looking at? You're looking at me. I forgot I was here.
What are you trying to say? My roofs look really weird from up here. Like, you can't see the gradient. It just looks like there's just orange and then just yellow. Or just like yellow and then just green. Like, you can't see like the gradient I used. It kind of looks weird.
The dirt roof looks so weird to me too.
Yeah, and this tree over here looks like a cactus.
Which one?
The fallen tree I made in this pond.
I see it.
There's no way that's what it looks like, man. Oh wait, no, that was my family. You should have kept that one.
You like the villager one?
I kind of do. Every time I put it down, I'm like, oh, those are my parents.
Let's see. I kind of hate it. Where is it?
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah. Mom and dad, man, they made it.
Okay, so one thing that I did do, like when I was shopping at your house,
Mhm.
I grabbed some loot here.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, harder to see, a bunch of these things. So I figured since it's kind of like a map, it's almost like adventure guild sort of thing. So these are almost like little relics of the world, you know?
I like it. I like it. I
It's
was
like
never gonna use
small
these
little-
otherwise, so.
Yeah. It's like little artifacts or something.
These are the things that like the meticulous details that I just never have the time to figure out. I just detailed like the basic stuff like leaves, composters, like a little shelf or two. I'll kind of just call it there. But I feel like this is the stuff I'm missing, you know. I want to find a use case for this, okay? Okay, so like you put a painting like here, right? Right?
Mhm.
So come out here. Come out here.
Oh, the colors.
That color's like a different type of wood. You know, it's like not natural in the game. And that looks pretty cool,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
wonder how you could use that for a wall. Yeah. Like that works, you know? Okay, so I think you can mess with like lighting back here with this, right? So like, let's say I put this torch down. Hold on. Like here.
Yeah, it's brighter in the bottom right.
Isn't that kind of cool? Like I feel like there's something there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was pointless, but not the death.
Oh, a
Ooh,
little
that's-
streamer
That's
thing.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really
A
cool.
little color, you know, a little pop of color.
Is that a wooden pickaxe you're using?
Yeah, I put my diamond one in the emerald down below.
So you made a
Uh,
wooden one?
I didn't want to use the iron.
That is fair. Wow, look at this. I can't believe I built all this myself.
It's nice and colorful. It's vibrant. Adventurers Guild. And you know what you could do? Like, okay, so this is something that I was thinking.
Yeah.
Ever since you messaged me, I was like, what if we made a spot where, like, if you invite someone to the world, they can like leave a message or something. You
Okay.
know? Or, like,
Okay. Yeah.
like, you know how like a hotel, like, oh, I enjoy my stay.
Yeah,
yada,
yeah.
yada. So we've got a little bookshelf here. We need like a book and quill, but okay, there we go. Wait, don't read it now.
Okay. Okay. I'll read it later. Don't worry.
Read it when I'm gone, because
Okay.
it's gonna be awkward. Okay.
Anything else?
Um,
Any final touches you want to add?
I think that's about it. We'll leave my pink bed here.
Yeah. Go ahead. This can be. Yep. That's your house.
You'll take care of this area.
It'll look horrible, but yeah, I will. But yeah, man.
Alright.
I appreciate the help. Think you made the building
Yeah.
look better. You know.
Thanks for having me on. It was fun. It was
Of course.
fun.
Of course. Of course. Everybody, go subscribe to this man. All right. Tell him why.
Thank you. Cute, man.
Go on, man. Give me
okay.
a one sentence pitch of your channel, okay?
The reason okay, no. The reason you should come subscribe to me.
Mhm.
That sounds weird. Why do I say come subscribe to me? I don't want to. Listen, I'm a man of the people. Okay, there's one message that I want to leave with here, and it's a message to you, Shrammy.
Mhm.
We need more cat pics. All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah, dude, that's fair. That's a good way to leave. Episode 16, ETAT. Such a beautiful world. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. I hope I was able to bring a little bit of joy to your building. With love, ETAT. Huge shout out to ETAT for joining the world and for also coming up with this awesome idea to have like a guest book of sorts. The Visitors of the World. I'll probably end up naming this book just that. I'll do that here in a second, probably. Also, Simply Night, there's a spot for him to write something, so I'll have to bring him back on for that. But yeah, dude, huge shout out to ETAT. Thank you so much for joining. Obviously, his link will be in the description. Everybody go show him some love. But he absolutely crushed this interior. This is so much better than what I could have done. I love all the pops of color with these little like hanging sign things that he just kind of came up with at the end. I love the use of acacia in here. I would have never done this. A little bit of moss carpet, a little bit of armor stands, a bunch of paintings. Like, it looks so vibrant in here. Also, like, the different artifacts kind of hanging up on the wall. Kind of showing some, like, past explorations. I think it made this build come alive so much more than, you know, what I could have done. And then here's a look at the upstairs a little bit more. I really like this spot. This is a really cool area now. And most importantly, here's the map. The map of the area. It looks so sweet, honestly. Like, I mentioned this before. I've never had a map of any of my areas, so this looks really cool. I'm glad I was able to have this like little map table. I like this building a lot. This ended up way better than I was expecting, honestly. Mostly because the interior looks fantastic. I also just kind of very, very lightly decorated this side. All I did was put in a floor, put in a ceiling, and then like fill in the walls a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to even do more than this, honestly. It'll probably just kind of chill. This is going to be the main part of this building, like always. So just don't worry about over there. But this episode is not quite done yet. There's 2 more things I need to do. One of those is I need to attach a pathway. There's a creeper right here too. That's not great. He can't get in, right? No, he's good. Okay, so I need to attach a pathway to this door, obviously connecting to this existing pathway. And then we have to make the tree for the episode. Thing is, though, I want to finish this episode before day 1000. We are on day 993, so I kind of have to get moving. But as for this pathway, I think I'm just going to make it really simple and use just mainly path block. Main reason being snow won't form on path blocks, and I think it'll look pretty nice. I don't really want this pathway covered in snow. I could put it all on like a slab level. That would also disrupt the snow from spawning, but I think I'm just going to use path block. Just keep the same kind of pathway vibe going that I've had in this whole area so far. And I also did elect to go with no windows, like no block behind the window. So we just have completely open concept windows. And I think they look really cool. I'm actually glad I ended up doing this. I think this is better than any block I could have chosen, honestly. So let's figure out this pathway. I might have to just put stairs going for the most part all the way up, because it is pretty steep right here. I don't know how much room I really have to mess with, you know? But I'm okay with some stairs. Stairs aren't that bad. This is what the path is mainly going to look like. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit weird with the stairs, but that's kind of the best I can do right now. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad. And you know what? Honestly, instead of using some coarse dirt, let's just throw some packed mud in here just because I have it. Change it up a little bit. I do just want to throw just a couple pieces of fence kind of bordering the path, because I think putting some torches, I guess, on here, because I don't have any lanterns left. Putting some torches on here is going to be useful as well, because that will stop the snow from spreading to like the immediate area around the torch. And I think that'll just expose the pathway a little bit more and just look a little bit nicer. I think I'll just use the fences only on this section up here next to the build. I don't really think I'm going to fence off the pathway going down the hill, because that'll get a little bit awkward. And with that, this is pretty much going to be the finished build. I am really tempted to throw some like azalea leaves around this, but I kind of don't want to, since it's up on a mountaintop like this, up on a snowy mountaintop. I don't really feel like azalea leaves will fit too well, and I don't want to use like spruce or birch leaves, so I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I am definitely very happy with this build, so I don't mind leaving it as is right now. I do want to shift focus, though. Of course, it starts raining. I do want to shift focus, though, to the tree for the episode. And I honestly think I might build another one of these birch ones. I know I've built a bunch of these, but I really like how these turn out, and they are super quick to build. I think putting another one of these birch trees like back here would be pretty nice. I am going to take a nap. I am kind of wasting a night here, but I'm done with the rain, man. I'm sorry. I'm over it. Okay, so let me build up this new birch tree right back here. All the trees should now be completely named and up to date. I haven't done it in the last couple episodes, but just caught up right now. Yeah, so here's the tree for the episode. Just another pretty basic birch tree, but I like this little, like, birch tree collection we have going on over here by the mining building. And I also like looking through the trees to see the enchanting tower. I think it looks a little bit better this way. With the new tree built, though, let me throw in some shaders and we can take a look at the new build today. All right, so the shaders are now on. So let's take this pathway around the corner and take a look at the brand new observatory-ish building. I think I'm going to commit to the observatory. Even though there's no, like, scope sticking out of the top, I still think it's okay. I am super glad that I finally have a map room in this world. Just in general, honestly. I'm just glad that I have a map room. I just can't stop looking at the map. Let me peel back, though, with some free cam so we can kind of take a full look at the new build. I feel like every episode I end up thinking whatever I just built is, like, the best thing I've ever made. I feel like that has tracked for a while in my Minecraft videos, and yeah, this is no exception. This might be like my favorite building that I've ever made up until this point. I'm sure after a couple of weeks or like a month or whatever goes by, I'll probably think it's just pretty good. and then whatever I'm building at the time is going to be my new favorite. That's just kind of who I am. Right now, though, this is one of my favorite things I've definitely built here in this world. But yeah, pretty much 1,000 days down in my survival world, in my forever world. I will have like the big 1,000 day movie coming out here in a little while, much like how I did the 500 day movie in this world. It'll be pretty much the same exact style of video. And I'll also have a world tour where I'm going to have the world download link in the description. So if you've ever wanted to explore this world for yourself and take a look at my builds, you know, in more depth, definitely be on the lookout for my next couple of videos. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Another huge shout out to ETAT for joining me on this world. But I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.